So in this question, we are going to find all the possible angles of theta for theta in range of 0 and 360 degrees. Okay, so we have tan of theta equals -1. What does basically mean? It simply means that tan is found in a quadrant where it is negative. So that means our point of interest is going to be in finding all the possible angles that are found in quadrants where tan is a negative. So let's try to revisit our knowledge of the quadrants. And so if this is our circle, then we can subdivide this into four equal parts, and we know this is 0, this is 90, 180, 270, and finally back here to 360. So each quadrant is 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And so theta is needed in between 0 and then 360 degrees, and we already know that tan is going to be, or theta is found in a region or quadrant where tan is a negative. So first quadrant, all is positive. Second quadrant, sign is positive. Third quadrant, tan is positive. And then fourth quadrant, cos is positive. So if you read it in this clockwise, it's act. So that means our possible angles of theta are going to be found in the quadrant where tan is a negative. And so that is to say in the second quadrant and then in the fourth quadrant, because these are the quadrants where tan is negative. And so we don't need this, we don't need that. So if that's the case, then what we always do is we can think of what would be the angle if this was positive. And so we can maybe let a variable, let's say alpha, be equal to tan inverse of 1 when this is positive. So that we get that angle, alpha is equal to, in this case, this is going to be equal to 45. And so when we know this angle as 45, so we need to transform that angle in a quadrant where tan is a negative. And so if we have this quadrant right here, so we are going to have that 45 is measured from the x-axis in the quadrant, which is second quadrant where tan is a negative, and so we have that angle of 45. So what's the angle of theta of our interest? The angle of theta of our interest is the angle measured from the positive part of x-axis to that quadrant. And so what's this angle? That is the question. If we know that this is 0 and this is 180, but we already know the other angle as 45, so that means our first angle of theta is going to be equal to 180 take off 45 degrees, and so this is going to give us 135 degrees. That is the first possible angle. We can also realize that we need an angle in the fourth quadrant, which is this one. And so to do that, we are going to just extend this line. And so the possible angle, so this is 45, and so that means this is also 45. So the question is again, what is this angle up to here? Okay, so this is what we have. We know that if this is 90, this is 270, this is 360. So the question is, what is this angle until this point? And so we already know this is 45, and so this is 360. So if we just subtract 360 minus 45, that is giving us the angle here. And so the possible angle of theta, the second angle of theta, is going to be equal to 360 take off 45 degrees, and so that's going to give us 315 degrees. And so this means that all the possible angles of theta are equal to 135 degrees and then 315 degrees, and these are the angles where tan is negative, that is in the second quadrant and then in the fourth quadrant. And so yeah, so that's what we have.